Last section in chapter 1 is going to be 1.10b. I can order real numbers. So it's going to be very similar to how we compared real numbers in the last section, but we're going to be giving a set of like 3 or 4 real numbers to compare. So it's going to say something like order the set from least to greatest, and you will have, let's do this one, the square root of 30, 6, 5 4/5, and 5.36 repeating. So I told you in the last video, my favorite way to do this is to write these, no, never mind, all as decimals. So I'm going to write them above each other so I can compare the place value. So the square root of 30 as a decimal is 5.477225575. That's where my calculator cuts off. 6 is already a decimal, it's 6.0. I could add more zeros if I really wanted to. 5 4/5. I'm going to do 4 divided by 5, and I get 0.8, so it's 5.8, and if I really want, I can add more zeros. This is not really necessary, but it might help me compare. And then 5.36 repeating is 5.36363633. And we'll keep going. Okay, now that I have all of them written as decimals, and I have to be careful to line up the decimal point, that way I can easily compare place values. I can see which one is the least out of these. So which one is the least? Well, it's going to be one of these ones with a 5 in the ones place. So I'll go to the tenths place next, and this one has the lowest value in the tenths place. So 5.36 is the lowest out of this set. So I've already used this one. Then I'll see which one comes next. 4 in the tenths place is my next lowest value, so the square root of 30 comes next. After that, the 8 is the next lowest value in the tenths place, so 5 4/5. And then my highest one would be 6. Let's do another one with negatives. So it's going to be the same thing. Let's call this example 1 and this example 2, ordering the set from least to greatest. Let's do negative square root of 26, negative 5.5, negative cube root of 113, and negative 5.2 repeating. Okay, I'm going to do this one with decimals just like I did in the last problem, but I'm also going to graph this on a number line. So first thing, opposite of the square root of 26 is negative 5.099019514. And I just got that from my calculator. Make sure you have the negative outside the radical sign because we know we can't have one inside. Negative 5.5 is negative 5.5. I'm not going to fill in the zeros this time. The opposite of the cube root of 113 is negative 4.834588127. Again, I'm getting that from my calculator. And then I have negative 5.2 repeating, which is, I know I have infinity 2's. That would come after this. I'm going to graph this on a number line just to help me a little bit more. And actually, I'm going to make my number line go all the way across. And I'm going to put negative 4 right about here. And then I'm going to put negative 5 here. And then negative 6 here. I'm going to put some fractions in just to help me reference. This would be negative 4.5. This would be negative 5.5. That's probably enough. Now I can plot all of these on my number line. So the square root of negative 26 is negative 5.099. So it's barely closer to the negative 6 than negative 5. So it's just going to be right about here. That's about where the opposite of the square root of 26 would go. Negative 5.5 is right here. This is negative 4.8, so almost to negative 5. And this one is negative 5.2 repeating, so it's going to be almost halfway between 5 and 5.5, so right about here. Now it should be a little easier to put in order because they're already in order on my number line. So I could compare the place values, or I can use my number line to say negative 5.5 is the smallest. Or the least. Negative 5.2 repeating is next. The opposite of the square root of 26 is third, and the opposite of the cube root of 113 is the greatest from this set.